Okay, I have a question. Do you know why a club sandwich is called the club sandwich?
Hold on. No, I don't.
Let me not ruin this because I don't want to mess it up. But it's because
you already did. I mean,
why?
Is this a joke? It's
not a joke. It's just an acronym, and I'm trying to get it right.
Oh, I thought you were telling a joke. This sounds
this is not a joke. This is not a joke.
It sounds like you're reading off a popsicle stick. Like,
no, it's not
why
a
do
joke.
They call it club sandwich? Because it's bacon and eggs or whatever.
No, it's chicken, lettuce, under bacon.
Okay, no, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But I also thought that club sandwiches were turkey, not chicken. But I guess I had had it both ways.
Yeah, like a turkey club.
But I guess you say turkey club because you're differentiating between the original club, which is chicken, lettuce, under bacon.
Do you know what you call cheese that's not yours?
Nacho cheese.
Yeah.
Do you know what a pirate's favorite letter is?
I.
You think it's the R, but it's really the C.
Oh, that said I. What the fuck is that? I works because they have one eye.
Pirates of
die like that. I. You say R. Yeah. What the fuck? All right. It's
so stand-up comedy not on our list of talents.
We have a little work to do.
Okay.
My daughter has a joke book full of all of these.
Okay.
And the funny thing about it is they probably understand a third of them, maybe.
Okay.
And they're all bad. They're all great, actually. Mostly bad. And that's what the car trip is. It's her reading jokes all the time. So
hey, I love that. But we're definitely going to keep that in. So you might as well crack your beer.
Done. Cheers.
Oh. What do you got?
I've
beer
got
reveal early.
A Voodoo Ranger IPA. This is a good beer. This is a good, let's see, what football team would this be? So this football team is like, I almost said Iowa, but I can't even say Iowa.
Describe
It is a perennial, it's a bowl eligible beer. It is like Iowa kind of fits, but Iowa can be overwhelmingly bad. And Iowa also occasionally is really good. This is just a solid. This is I just ripped on NC State pretty aggressively, so I got to keep them out of this.
Okay.
It would be a good fit. I'm going to Big Ten land. It's like a Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota is like a good, respectable team under PJ Fleck. Like, I know I'm not getting to a Big Ten championship, most likely, although I think they kind of were in the mix. But I'm probably going to get 8 wins. I'm going to probably get 8 wins.
All right, so a Minnesota beer.
Yeah, that's delightful, actually. It's light. It's very drinkable IPA. Speaking of beer takes, I had somebody, pale ales. So if IPAs, right, you can get aggressive with IPAs. Got a little aggressive with IPAs this weekend. Didn't end great. Didn't end bad, but Sunday was a problem. Okay. Pale ales is like when you don't want to just drink a domestic beer, but you want a little something. Do you have any?
Okay.
I know you're not a big beer drinker, so I hate asking you your beer thoughts, but I like that. It's like a change up of the drinking and to drink.
I saw a meme that said IPAs are like a white man's version of pumpkin spice lattes for white girls, and I agree with that. I think it's trendy and it's like supposed to be elevated over being like kind of just the regular like domestic beers, and I think it's like that and I don't think it tastes good, by the way. I don't like them.
To be clear, I would much rather not so I played golf on Saturday. This episode's already off, so let's just keep it. We started off drinking high noons, and I think I had 3 high noons, right?
Okay.
In 6 holes. It was hot. We were rolling. I was like, I need something. So I switched to a big pale ale.
Okay.
And it was actually, that's probably where the day turned bad. But I just need a little flavor. If I drink a domestic beer, I'll drink Miller Lite.
Interesting.
And I switched probably, 4 or 5 years ago. In
I'm
college,
on Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra is good. In college, it was Busch Light. And then I graduated to Bud Light and then Miller Lite eventually. And now I'm drinking all this shit.
In college, it was Natty Light for me.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's fine. I can't rip on you.
What's the other one that's like similar to that?
Ice House. Drank some Ice House. I drank some
Keystone.
Yeah.
Keystone.
Yeah. Busch Light Peach is in the mix right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like peach. Have we had this discussion where like I won't drink peach flavored like alcohol things?
Peach is good. I'm in on peach.
I don't know what it is. I like peaches, but I am not a fan of peach flavored alcohol. I think it's because I have a fear that I'm going to get sick and it's going to taste like that, which is fair. But
I still
I'm
don't,
not in on peach flavor things.
I still don't like my football team comparison for this beer.
Okay.
It might be more of like an Ole Miss, like because Minnesota may not do the like if I'm New Belgium who makes the beer and they're like, no, Ole Miss, like Lane Kiffin Ole Miss, like yeah, all right, like probably gonna lose some games, but
okay,
let's do it.
By the way, this isn't on the rundown, but shout out to Lane Kiffin and his staff because they're all mental health certified. Every single person on their football staff, which is a huge, huge deal, and I think they're the first football program to actually do that. So props to Lane Kiffin on that front.
You know, just to stay there for a second, isn't it like Lane Kiffin has gone through all like the career arc and just the general perception arc of Lane Kiffin remains amazing to me. From like USC Lane Kiffin, Raiders Lane Kiffin, like we don't like this guy, to Twitter wonky, like social media guy. That's where he rebuilt it. And now he's kind of becoming like a key figurehead on like a lot of important issues, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the first time that we've aligned with saying like, hey, that's pretty cool that he's doing that. Like, it is still wild to me that this is the same guy that got fired on a tarmac. And
yeah, it's totally fair.
So, cheers, Lane. Ole Miss.
Cheers, Lane. Ole Miss. Before we talk about college football, there's some world football news that happened today, and I know I told our listeners, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, because the weeks all have blended together now.
Yes.
I have been really worried about Declan Rice signing with Arsenal, and it's happening. Or not signing with Arsenal. He's being transferred. So we're purchasing him from another team because it doesn't work like how it does in the NFL, which, by the way, is very strange, or just any other professional sport. But I am very happy that he's going to be on my team, and honestly, I can sleep now, and I won't be saying things like after bed. So that's positive news for us. Best day ever.
What is like the transfer fee for him? Like, isn't there normally? Admittedly, I am not a football guy here. So
football.
Like how much? Like what? Did the financial numbers come out?
I think in total it's 135 million pounds. But it's like 100 pounds and then 5 million in incentives. And honestly, I'm not really a math person, but I can tell you, it is something. It sets the record for an English player. So before it was Jack Grealish, who, by the way, awesome. He plays for Man City. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. His celebration from winning the treble Champions League and winning the treble was insane. Like became a real life meme. And if you've watched Ted Lasso, he's the real life Jamie Tart. So it's awesome.
Still haven't watched Ted Lasso.
Sometimes I honestly can't with you.
I got it.
I also want to tell our listeners, yesterday I was talking to Kramer on the phone and he was like, oh, I think I've seen a clip of that. I said, yeah, I think he made it to Instagram Reels. So I just wanted everyone to know that I shame him constantly.
In the text threads for the dads, my conglomerate of dads, we don't even communicate anymore. Like all we do is share Instagram Reels via text message.
Group chat?
How
many guys are in it?
Well, it varies. I have one really good friend who I went out with Saturday, and but otherwise we've got another one with like 4 or 5 guys, and it's just we're reeling. We're just Instagram reeling, posting Instagram Reels via text message, like 38-year-old shitheads. That's what we do. It's like the most non into technology action that you can. But
I absolutely love it.
The formulas are fascinating, like on Instagram Reels, and my formulas change wildly on
the algorithm.
Yeah. Formula is probably another old person way to say it. The algorithm figure. I am getting now. It feels like a lot of the submarine memes.
Yes.
I'm getting a lot of those. Clearly, I'm watching those, so I'm getting a lot of that. I moved away from high speed chases. Getting some instructional baseball videos still. So it's I love it. I think I can honestly cut the cord now because all I need are Instagram Reels.
Okay.
I'm in. Like
sold.
That's it. Let's talk a little football, even though I could keep talking about this random shit the whole time. The NCAA versus the universe, or specifically the states. Now, with NIL, the NCAA has basically pointed their finger, like waved it, like, you better not. We've got rules. And essentially, and this is from Ross Dellinger, and we're not going to go into the full, there's a lot to unpack on this. But this is what Ross's tweet says, and this is the part I think that's most interesting. In a memo obtained by SI Now, and I think he was the first to report this, the NCAA strongly clarifies its NFL policy by warning schools that, 1, they must follow NCAA rules, even if they conflict with state laws, and 2, entities such as school foundations are prohibited from NIL and offering donor incentives for NIL giving. I have thoughts, but I will wait. What are your thoughts on this?
The fact that the NCAA thinks they have any leg to stand on at this point. Like, sure, go ahead. And you're going to regulate all of this in some capacity? Like, you're almost extinct. We're almost getting rid of you. Shoe fly, don't bother us. It's kind of my thought process.
So yes, I understand what they're saying. Like, hey, you're volunteering to be a part of this organization. And as such, you're gonna obey by our laws. That's what their NCAA, that's the position. The counter to that is you're gonna really fucking piss off the states and the people that are putting in these laws, and they're going to bury you. Like they're going to double down. Like the way that this is being presented is going to really piss off state legislate, like the people that are in charge of this, and the NCAA doesn't stand a chance. This is a losing battle, and I think the NCAA at this point has to know that. But
why would you even start that war? Because you've lost every time it's come up.
The horse is out of the barn at this point. Like the horse is left, right, and the NCAA is just walking around with a flashlight, like. Just remain calm, everyone. We've got this. We're going to get this horse back. No, it's too far. It's too far gone. But still positioning this like you're a laughing fucking stock at this point. Like no one's taking this seriously. The comments from Twitter yesterday were overwhelming. Like that was the response overwhelmingly is good luck. Even people that I follow legally wise that have an understanding are like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. I think this is a problem. I think the NCAA has a problem on its hands.
They do. But, I mean, do you think this all is becoming a big deal because of all the stuff with the video game?
I think all of it, it's like making a really uneasy situation. And we could talk about that too, because I saw before we started recording now, there's more like threatening going on legally in the video game. I do wonder though, Paige, like I've seen it even now with baseball, like the college baseball season has ended. There's some transfers. Shout out LSU. LSU, by the way.
Just
rolling.
The ring.
Oh, that's what that was?
I don't know what it was, honestly.
Your hand looked very rigid. Like
I don't know what was going on.
It's all right. YouTube viewers, go to our YouTube page.
No, don't.
It's like the watch. I don't know. I know.
I was trying to figure out which finger to point to, and then I was just.
You didn't have the worst. What does a pirate say? It's still pretty bad. I don't know what we were talking. Oh no, baseball transferring. So you're seeing the power of NIL across the entire sport, and there's no going back from here. I really don't believe that, and I think the NCAA is in a really precarious spot. They're going to have to try to enforce its rules. I would be going the other way to work with states and work with the government to try to say, let's try and find a reasonable ground that obviously puts your institutions in a position to be successful, but doesn't make this really, really weird. One thing that's not on the dock on this along these lines. Did you see Trent Dilfer, his comments at UAB, like what he had said?
No, I saw that he was trending for some reason, but I kind of tend to avoid.
So in line with transferring and everything else, Trent Dilfer, who I'm still shocked got this job, basically said he's went out and said he's daring coaches to steal his players, and that he'll call them out individually.
I did see that.
So his quote is, "By the way, come try and get my guys. I dare you, Power Fives. I got a pretty big platform and I could step on." I don't know what that means. I had to make sure I read it right. "And if I find you in my kids' DMs, and if I find you talking to high school coaches about my kids, if you're in my roster, I'm going to call your ass out." Okay.
I need Lane to go recruit and get called out, because that would be the funniest Twitter beef of all time, because it'd be someone who genuinely doesn't care if you publicly call them out, and he's going to somehow spin it into being a thing for him. So I need that Lane beef to happen.
I also think that this Dilfer hire was peculiar at the time. This is a Bill Clark fan club podcast. Love Bill Clark. That school is a near and dear to my heart. Like, this is going to be bad, right? This is going to be bad. Like, this comment, you're going to call, that's what you're worried about, is people poaching players from UAB. Oh, buddy. It's going to be bad.
Yeah. I don't know if it's trying to be relevant. I don't know if that's a way to show players that you care about them. Not sure.
I mean, didn't he have a very awkward sideline thing in high school? He was coaching high school and he grabbed a kid. This has a chance to be spectacularly bad. Like, so bad that you're like, wow, I gotta watch this. Yeah. This is bad. That's all the preview I'm doing for UAB.
And we will be here to discuss it when it does.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yes. So there you go.
Other college football news: Michigan, it came out that they have beat Georgia and beat Ohio State up in their locker room as motivation, right?
Yes. Do you have a problem with this? I actually don't.
I would just put beat TCU up there. I'm confused why, that's even a thing. So,
I've already, my Homer take. I'm like shuffling my papers to get my Homer take ready.
She said it. She did it.
God damn it. I couldn't even get a word in first. I get why they're doing this though, right? Like, beat Alabama was kind of the thing to do when Alabama was kicking the shit out of everybody. So
yeah,
I think that's fair. Beat TCU is fair.
But also, if you're that's billboard material or bulletin board material for other teams, in my opinion, that aren't included in that. So there's going to be teams that beat Michigan up, and the fact that they have beat Georgia and those teams, and then everybody else in the Big Ten is going to use that. Hey, Penn State, put that up and say they don't even care about you. They didn't put it up there. They think they can easily beat you. That's some good bulletin board material. Just saying. Saying.
I will say, because they do the beat Ohio State period in every practice, right? That's where this comes from. Mm-hmm. I think I think this is a good thing to aim to be the pinnacle of the sport, and Georgia is so far and away it. And obviously Georgia kicked the shit out of Michigan 2 years ago, not last year but the year before. So it's kind of like it is a little personal, but this stuff, I love this stuff because it's perfect off-season content. This has got to piss
also,
off.
How does this, they put it up and that it's public at practice? That's why this came out?
I think this was in a quote or something. I don't know. It's like, hey, everybody,
how did this get out? Why?
Georgia
hey, everybody, we put up look at our bulletin board material. Beat Georgia.
So what do you do? What do you do in beat Georgia period? What do you do? God, what does it entail?
Just taking the biggest blow.
Bowers. What do you do? What is this? What does this look like?
They bring out the Monstars from Space Jam.
Yeah, like a bulldog runs around. Catch him. I don't quite understand the relevance of beat Georgia or beat Ohio State. But I do love this
one
shit.
I get, but it's just funny to me that they do this the year after. I would understand after getting your butt kicked by a team, you put that team up, but this seems a little try-hardy for me.
It's very Harbaugh. It's perfectly Harbaugh.
And don't get me wrong, I love a good try-hard, but this is a little too much for me.
I'm happy to say that it is fine. And
okay,
but beating Georgia, good. That's
good luck, buddy.
Good luck, buddy. But it is fine. This is not fun, and it's actually sad. Hard transition. Ryan Mallett passes away. Now, I believe he was 35 years old, and it was from drowning. And so I am a little older than you, which you make known pretty much every time we talk about social media. But
Not on purpose.
Ryan Mallett was like a folklore. Like, he was larger than life. And he had a huge arm and had some, like, could do some crazy ass shit, and like never, I don't know, made it to the NFL, like had a spell in the NFL. But from a college quarterback standpoint, there was stuff off the field. Like the whole Ryan Mallett wave was like sensational. It was never boring, right? And so from a football player standpoint, I have like a strong association with Ryan Mallett. I think a lot of people do who are around my age. He's a little young, because like I associate like developing a love of college football right around the time he was just throwing the shit out of it. It's just really sad. It makes me sad.
It is.
Young, obviously gone way too soon. There's nothing else you can really say, but like I think a lot of people in my age group have a connection to him that's like, didn't really matter about wins and losses. There was just something always interesting about Ryan. So it just sucks.
It does. And I feel like we've had to have this conversation way too many times on this podcast, and we've only been doing it for 2 years. But seeing like the aftermath of it is just like, also you think about the like, okay, he touched so many lives, so just thinking of his family, because that's an awful thing.
It is an awful thing. But I think he leaves a really interesting legacy. And again, I think there's just a connection to him as football has become more popular.
Yeah.
There's a connection to him that I think people will think. But yes, more than that, it's like, you think about everybody kind of close to him and all.
And it speaks to like the beauty of college football, because like it doesn't have to be the best quarterback ever to have an impact on the sport and for people to remember you in a time in the sport around you playing. So it's definitely a sad thing, but we never have good transitions out of these. Never.
No, they're always painfully awkward.
They're always painfully awkward.
Lean into the painfully awkward transition. Or do you want me to?
No, I can. We can talk about Texas. Speaking of painfully awkward sometimes.
They could be bad.
I had a really good transition in a meeting the other day, and someone was like, wow, that was a really great transition. I was like, podcasting, just
like we've nailed it. Like
we've totally nailed it,
Mike Leach has passed away, and then like, did you see those mascots fighting? Like, that's how normally our transitions go. Like,
I know. We'll work on it, guys. We're growing up a little bit. We'll tell you guys more about that a different day. But so Texas football set its season ticket record with 68,000 sold.
That's a shitload of season tickets.
That is a lot of season tickets. Maybe all of 68,000 people listened to this podcast and heard you say that Texas was going to be back this year and are now season ticket holders.
I gotta make sure this take is properly context. Texas has some being backish qualities about them, and a schedule that would promote the possibility to be
of backness.
Yeah. Like, there's got to be a t-shirt that we can make, and like Texas might possibly, if all things go well, be and then on the back it says backish. Back. Yeah.
And then on the back it goes back. So could possibly potentially be ... back.
So I will say this. I think we narrative with some teams, some personalities, some whatever have a narrative. Jim Harbaugh, the narrative, they can't win, you can't win. And if you're watching Michigan at the time, you're like, he's building. He like, the recruiting was pretty good. It was getting better. He was building.
Right.
I think Texas is kind of doing the same thing. I don't know if anything I can't say quietly, because nothing Texas ever does is quiet.
No.
But I do think when you look at how they've changed he's done a really good job changing over the roster. I mean, I don't know. They just kind of not lose stupid fucking games. Like, that's it. And then you could say,
it's so easy. It's so simple.
Don't lose to fucking Kansas or Iowa State. Like,
don't lose to Kansas.
But that's it. I
like how you put don't lose to Iowa State and Ohio. Did you say?
No. Yeah. Kansas. Well, I mean, Kansas is pretty good now. We can't even say that. But like, Texas should not lose to Kansas. They should never lose to Iowa State. Texas really shouldn't lose to a lot of the teams that they've lost to ever.
Yeah, well, now they're joining the SEC, so.
But you know what? Their roster is a lot better off in that position than they were 3 years ago. I don't know if Sark will be the guy ultimately that sees them through. It does feel like when you count up all the momentum, though, recruiting, Arch, Quinn Ewers, like there's some legit momentum there. What they do with it, I have no idea. But I am very scarily liking this team more and more. But I can't pick them to go to the playoff page because when they don't, the fucking internet's going to be such dicks about it.
Well, I mean, and people always say this about like, quote, blue bloods of a sport. Like college football is better when Texas is good. So I am rooting for them to be backish. Like I'm rooting for them to be in that like 6 to 8 window of college football in the rankings in the college football playoff, just so people argue about it.
Oh, I see. So you don't want definitively in. You want Texas on the bubble, like
at least for a year. I mean, they can, because I'm not willing to commit to them being definitively in. I think they have the potential to be almost in.
I feel like if this is the time to actually definitively declare Texas is back, and if they actually are back, I'll be like, wow, this guy Adam knows.
I feel like people have been doing that, though. That's why the whole Texas back thing is...
It's just ironic. It's not even... But I'm leaning... I am struggling with the Texas evaluation. The problem... Here's what my problem is with Texas. Let's lean into this for 1 minute.
The problem... Let's dig into the problem.
Like losing Bijan Robinson
How does it make you feel?
It's not great. Like you lost Bijan. In fact, you lost your 2 best running backs.
Yeah.
And that's not great. But Quinn Ewers, I think, is going to be good. I do. I think Quinn Ewers is going to be really good.
Yeah.
So I do kind of want to push them into the playoff. But I don't want to hear what the internet has to say.
Someone recently has said to me about this podcast that they're surprised that you put up with my shit sometimes. And I didn't realize what they meant until just now when twice in this episode I've tried to rally you up over Michigan and Texas and it's worked. So, you know what? We're just going to keep doing this for the end of time because I enjoy it. I sit back and just let you roll.
I just can't help. I very freely and
I know
easily
you too
take
well.
bait. Yeah, I will take the bait.
Yeah, I know you way too well.
I can't help it. Like if the bait is out there, I'm going to just latch myself on. So, but stay tuned because we will do playoff predictions. Texas might be back. I mean, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's the end of the episode. No, just kidding.
Stay tuned. Yeah. That's it. There you go. There's the name. Stay tuned.
There's the name.
NIL deals. They are a thing again, right?
Yes.
And anybody, I guess a quarterback, really not anybody, but Bijan Robinson quarterbacks can get NIL deals these days. Yes.
Good ones. Ones that I would want.
Well, is Kyle McCord a good one?
Mercedes, is that a good NIL deal?
Well, no. Yes, Mercedes. Okay, Mercedes is a very good. You're already getting me riled up. Mercedes is a very good NIL deal. Did you see Kyle McCord in the spring game? Like, is he a Mercedes-worthy guy?
But again, it kind of doesn't even matter. It's more about recognition. And he's an Ohio State quarterback,
I just find it fucking funny, Kyle McCord driving a Mercedes around campus.
I mean,
I just like
jelly.
When he's benched in the first game. Like
you might not have seen this, but the dealership that he has a partnership with is owned in one of the business investments of our good friend, Mark Wahlberg.
I actually did see that. And I'm also thinking now, like the state, like the NCAA was, Kyle, be careful. Like, don't leave it alone.
Don't post.
But also, I kind of do love Kyle McCord driving a Mercedes. I'm going to pivot on my take to lean fully into, like, here's a guy who's I don't know if he's actually played sparingly, and he's driving a Mercedes around campus. Like, yes.
There was an outlet that shall not be named that was like, this is the reason this is terrible and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, dude.
Why can't you name the outlet?
Because I don't want to. You can look it up yourself. If you're listening to this, you can look it up yourself. Don't give them the clicks, but no.
No, but can you, like, do it, just mouth it so YouTube people can see and no one else can?
No.
See that,
no, I'm not giving...
That would have been a great idea. We're trying to grow YouTube.
We're trying to, go exclusive content on our.
Hear us shit all over other media outlets, only on YouTube.
But I love NIL deals. Okay, like I think it's great. I love that he's driving a Mercedes.
I am completely unbothered by this.
Me too. I think it's excellent. I shouldn't say unbothered because I also am like very interested in it. Like I love the excitingness of NIL deals.
The car that they showed is really nice. Like,
I mean, I think we've talked about this, but I really wasn't a car person until I got into F1, and now I like it very much. I was always like, whatever. I'm not really like I don't care what I drive. Now I'm like, next car, luxury.
This is from Front Office Sports from the story. Ohio State QB Kyle McCord will be driving a 2023 Mercedes-Benz AMG GT53 this season. He hasn't officially been named the starter. Like, like that's like, chef's kiss. Okay, so NIL. I don't think we've ever done this. We're coming in hot on this, like we usually do on this podcast. Yes. You are an athlete. You are an up and coming star. A pickleball
thank you so much.
star.
No,
a pickleball star. You're
a pickleball star.
It is taking off. Where are you going for NILs?
Okay.
Now, this is some context, right? Like not as a college kid. Somehow in this weird mindset. This is like right now. Yeah.
It's like a multiverse. Right?
Yes.
I don't know. By the way, have you seen the Spider-Man multiverse movies?
Not yet. Not the new. The first one I did. The
second
one I haven't yet. My kids
I haven't seen the second one, but I saw the first one. Very good, by the way. I did not expect to like it.
Yeah, huge
fantastic. Fan. By the way, sidetrack. Yes, in this multiverse where I am a pickleball star at this current age and still myself. Yep. There are a few companies / brands that I would really like to be associated with that I would love to work with. And I think I'll start with Tarte. Do you know what that is?
No.
A cosmetics brand. Very controversial. Remember when I had that rant a couple of weeks ago about how people were mad about the F1 race and they had like influencers going?
Yes.
Tarte was the company that like started that, and basically they do these like lavish influencer trips where they go to like Turks and Caicos, they went to Dubai, all this stuff, and they spend so much money on these influencer trips. So my pitch to Tarte would be that we go to sporting events together and make it normal that people who are influencers and like Tarte, which by the way I do use, okay? These eyes don't look this good just because of nothing, okay? Tarte Shape Tape.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I'll put a link in bio for everybody, for all the female listeners who want to conceal stuff, or males, no judgment here. But that would be who I would work with because they spend a shit ton of money on these influencer trips. And I'm hoping that, you know how I also talked in that rant about how I'd love to go to Super Bowl? I'm thinking Super Bowl, Tarte, pickleball champion, celebration at a Super Bowl with Tarte. So Tarte would probably be my first choice in terms of NIL deal.
I like that. We'll keep it in the T family. I would go Toro. Okay, Toro is my favorite lawnmower brand.
Okay, that checks out.
Full disclosure, I did email Toro to see if I could become an influencer for them. I've never done this. Oh yeah.
When did you do that?
Well,
that
like
sounded really
a year ago. And
did you follow up? I think this is huge. We can send this video and give us your pitch.
So they had it. It was like way too official. Like I just wanted to email some marketing person and be like, "Hey, buddy, like I mow the shit in my yard.
You have to do stuff. You can't just get free shit."
I would do that. You know what I do in my yard? It's probably the most looked at.
No, but I mean, like you'd have to take pictures and post it.
No, I'm with you. I would not just want free shit. I would do it, and there was like, well, you have to go through this official thing, and like, it just was off-putting. And
this is the most Kramer thing I've ever heard in my life.
I have not emailed anyone else, right? Okay. Like I wanted a Toro. Like their mowers are the best. They're the absolute best. And so it's still what I take my pride and joy in now. Toro, fucking call me. Like, let's fucking go.
Let's get it done.
Like whatever. Like we'll do lawn of the week. I will live stream my fucking mows. Like I'm in.
Wow. I honestly think you could find a really great demographic for that.
Like, unfortunately, as I've aged and like my following on Twitter is less college football and more just like dad shit, like I feel like I'm the guy. I'm not sure there's a marriage on Twitter better in the entire world than me, Toro. Like, you are missing out, not me, right?
See? This
Sure,
and producer Matt's going to clip this.
Threatening a brand is that how you get sponsors? It's
yeah,
like,
basically. So what I'm gathering here is that producer Matt's going to clip this. We're going to send it out to Toro, and you're going to be a brand ambassador, which would be great.
I feel like I'm right there for that. Like, I want to be here.
This is a weird question, but are there any college kids that have alcohol NIL deals? Is that allowed?
I believe
if you're 21, yes, right?
And gambling were no.
Alcohol.
And I think
NIL.
alcohol. I think porn was another one. I think that was the three. Like,
alcohol, betting, NIL deals are fair game for some athletes.
Is this where you're going with your next NIL proposal?
No, I was thinking that maybe the next NIL deal could be an alcohol deal, but I would do it with Aviation Gin. Actually, he sold it, so I don't. Remind me, random shit, Ryan Reynolds, okay?
Yep.
I would associate myself with whatever brand Ryan Reynolds was affiliated with. Actually, his wife started a like mocktails / like cocktails in a glass thing that really didn't go well. Called like Buzzed or something.
But they're not.
And I would associate myself with Ryan Reynolds and his wife Blake Lively. So that's what I would do. I do the queen of the mocktail, which actually is fair because I rarely drink on this podcast. That's why when I do it's off the rails.
Obviously, an alcohol sponsor for me would be, I mean,
what beer would you choose? You can only choose one beer.
So I've been trying to shuffle through this as you were talking to figure out what beer it would be.
I'm glad you listened to me though. You had to pick one beer for the rest of your life to drink.
It's so difficult because it would be not, you know what? Maplewood. It's a local, you got to go local with the IPAs. Okay. Maplewood and I would get along very well, but I would do Tito's. This is the problem. This is where I become, I almost said, can I say what I almost said? And then like, that doesn't mean I said it. Like I almost said that I'd become a bit of a whore. Or a brand whore, because with alcohol, I'd be like, what is it? Can I try it? Yep, it's great. I'm in. With lawnmowers, not so much. With alcohol, maybe. Good beer,
fair.
Good solid beer. New Belgium, I would do.
Yeah.
New Belgium, call me.
But let me just clarify. The brand is called Betty Buzz, and I need to read what it's a premium drink mixer made with only clean ingredients. So there's that.
That
sounds like me, where it's like, healthy and organic, but still you can put alcohol in it. So
there's like that. Is it called Athletic? I think Scott Van Pelt is sponsored. It's like non-alcohol beer. It's called like Athletic Brewing. Yeah, that just wouldn't work with me, man. Like fair. I respect it, and actually great branding, great mission, great everything else, but like bring me the fucking booze, man. And again,
that's fair.
Yeah, no, but like there's been a beer on pretty much every single podcast we've ever done.
Yeah.
It's like 100 beers, right? Like
84 beers.
Cutwaters.
The Cutwater episode.
Yeah.
We should watch clips. Actually, that's a great idea. We should watch back some clips of that for an episode. Just because it would be really funny and also our Thanksgiving one where I basically drank a whole bottle of wine.
We were attacked. It's like an hour and 35-minute, like, just the Thanksgiving episode every year, I think, is one of the more, the season is ending.
Yes, it is. It's
like
us getting weird.
There's cooking tips. There's like, we're celebrating the end. It's spectacular.
It is. For NIL, just to put a bow on that, let's give one more. What would your like fast food or like restaurant affiliation be?
Fuck. You know what? I'm going to lean into this take. I feel like McDonald's is actually underrated.
Yo, that's some serious dough. I would agree. I would probably go with McDonald's as well.
Have you seen, obviously you probably have because you're very online, the Grimace, like the Grimace shake videos? Like, no. So okay, wow. Well, maybe you should try Instagram Reels. So the Grimace shake is like this purple shake. And so what teens are doing is like, yep, try the Grimace shake for the first time. And then like, you know, they're like this. And then the next cut is like them vomiting, like fake vomiting or like dead in the floor. Like this is like, I've seen this on Twitter too. I will send you some. Like if you're a McDonald's social person, you obviously can't retweet any of this but it is great marketing. Like, yep, just try the Grimace shake. And it looks, I mean, it's purple, right? Grimace purple.
Have you had it? Yes, I know he's purple.
No. But I'll say this, like these, like, and some of these clips are actually pretty deranged, but like not over the top. Like it's funny. They're just like, Grimace
good
shake.
Content.
With kids and being on the road and all these different things, McDonald's just fucking delivers, right? McDonald's is just like the most consistent fast food. And my fast food like power rankings, there's 1, 2, and there's a strong large gap to 3. It's McDonald's, it's Taco Bell, and then it's Canyon between everybody else.
I love Chick-fil-A, so Chick-fil-A would be very high on my list. 1A and 1A is McDonald's, 1B is Chick-fil-A. But I will say about McDonald's, if they were ever willing to lean into the hangover cure, because that's really the only time I drink McDonald's is when I'm hungover. My hangover cure is a large Diet Coke and a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle. And then I am fixed. And then if it's really bad, add a large fry. But that is like, if they were ever willing to lean into that, I would love to do something like that because that's really the only time I eat McDonald's.
So, you know how they do like these menu items, like for celebrities?
Yes.
I have a menu item, like my kids were like, you got to try this.
Mm-hmm.
They take a hot cake, right? The McDonald's hot cake. Yeah. Delightful. Consistent.
Pancake, but...
It's called the fucking, yes. All right.
I was just letting people know who don't know.
Why are you trying to get me revved up again?
Okay. The hot cakes.
You wrap it in a hash brown. Okay. You take the hot cake, right? Their hash browns also world class.
Yeah.
And my kids tried this, like, you gotta try it. It's like texture heaven, right? Soft pancake.
And then crunchy.
Crunchy hash brown. I encourage everyone to do this. So this would be my menu item. Large black coffee.
Have you guys tried dipping it in syrup? Because I feel like that would be really good.
Oh, no. Well, no, the syrup is good. Yes, I'm with you. But that would be it. I'd call it the, I actually had a name for it. I'm forgetting.
I was gonna wait for you to figure
now that I'm about to say it out loud, it's gonna sound like the hotcake taco. Sounds like
this is a family podcast.
It is, but it's we call it the hot taco. This is even worse somehow. But
why wouldn't you call it something like the hot hash?
Why would
or the hash cake?
The hash cake.
The hash cake.
That sounds like a drug, though.
No.
See, here's the problem. Why would anyone sponsor us? Like we are reckless at best.
Honestly, the hash cake is a good idea.
The hash cake is better than the hot taco. It's a really bad fucking name. The hash cake. I like it. Adam's hash cake.
Adam's hash cake.
large black coffee, hash cake, and that's it. But I honestly, you gave me homework for next week. Your homework, if you choose to accept it,
is a hash cake.
Is a hash cake. So just one hot cake.
What homework did I give you?
To watch something. I forget what it was. Oh no!
Yeah, Smartless on tour.
We'll get to it. So that would be my homework for you. Okay. Hot cake, hash brown.
Okay. And don't call it a pancake.
Or
you are 5 years old.
Or a hot taco. Which is the opposite. Okay. The Jets are going to be on Hard Knocks. Probably. Maybe. Did you know any of these rules about Hard Knocks that, like, they can't force teams on but they can if you don't have a new coach and you've made the playoffs? Like, there's all these really weird Hard Knocks stipulations about who can be on. Like details.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that, but it makes sense so that you get quality content.
So, okay, I was having this. I'm biased. I'm a Jets fan. So the report, I think it was Mike Florio, was saying the Jets are bracing to be the Hard Knocks team.
Okay.
Now, I'm biased, but this year's Jets team, I feel like would be the perfect, like, Hard Knocks choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Outside maybe the Chiefs, who, Super Bowl
They're probably just
champs.
having a lot of fun,
Yeah, Mahomes, Kelsey, like all of them. Andy Reid would be
tune
great.
into the match, watching.
I'm in. I can't wait. Mahomes has got himself a golf swing. What teams would you want to see on Hard Knocks? And I might buy, I think the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, this is probably as good if the Jets are on Hard Knocks, I'll bet you it'll be some of the highest rated episodes they've had in many years.
Oh, yeah, I'm good with the Jets. I actually follow the Jets on TikTok because I think their social media is hilarious. Whoever runs their social media, I think it's a girl. I want to give her a shout out because it's so funny and so good. Their post practice stuff is hilarious. So I'm good with that. I think it makes sense. The only other selfishly thing that I would want would be them to do the Dolphins, just because I don't know if you've seen the Braxton Berrios and Alex Earl stuff. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about, which is kind of crazy that you know. I really did not expect you to think anything of it. But all I need is Alex Earl being on Hard Knocks. That would be amazing.
I thought you were going to say the 49ers, who would also be very interesting.
Yeah, no, quarterback situation I would love to know. But no, selfishly, I'm good with the Jets. I would rather watch that than the 49ers because honestly, I just don't actually want to know any of that information. I just want to be happy when it happens.
I actually think the Packers post Rodgers would be fascinating. I think I think the Packers, that's such an interesting story. I'm not surprised that nobody wants to do this, by the way, because it is intrusive. I'm a little surprised. Training camp starts in a month, and do they really not know? They have to know. HBO has to know who it is.
Are they doing the in-season thing like they did with the Cardinals last year?
I think they are. And they were saying the eligible teams for Hard Knocks was Washington, Chicago, which would be interesting. Jets and somebody. There was not many. And nobody wants to do this, which does not shock.
Which kind of makes me sad because I feel maybe it's just because we think of the NFL as the king of all sports, and so we don't think it needs publicity. But I think having seen the success of Drive to Survive and the Welcome to Wrexham and things like that, where a lot of new fans have been introduced via documentaries, and I know a lot of I have a lot of friends who don't watch sports all the time as much as I do, but they tune in with their husbands and things like that to watch this stuff because it's fascinating because it gets into the personal side of it. It's interesting to me that teams and the league would be it's not surprising that I'm sure the league has some involvement in this of why they wouldn't want to do it because I feel you'd want to grow that, not a fan base, but grow have people grow a connection and support of you. I don't know if that even matters, but
no, I think Hard Knocks was ahead of its time. In a lot of ways.
Yes, totally.
I think we probably take it for granted.
Yeah.
The Rex Ryan Jets was hilarious. Was, just the shit, it's very real. And I think that's probably why coaches don't like it or front office because the football is not for the faint of heart in a lot of ways. It is a very brutal business and you get a lot of it. You don't get all of it, but you get a lot of it on Hard Knocks. And it's, no, as a fan of the team, I'm in. Give me...
Yeah.
And look, you get the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, both of which have, a great deal of, confidence and swag, right? Give me a Sauce Gardner episode, I'm in. And Aaron Rodgers, frankly, would probably be fascinating, whether you love him or not.
And he loves attention. He's totally willing to do it. He's totally willing to do it.
Yeah, he would love this. So I think I'm in as a fan. Breece Hall, fucking Jets are going to be good.
Oh, gosh. You're getting yourself worked up.
It'll go bad at some point.
But I will say, thinking about it now, the NFL is, if I had to pick a professional league that was, most likely to be canceled, you know what I mean, for saying something wrong or having something go wrong, it would be the NFL. So I maybe get why they're a little bit different because I feel even watching some of the, I've watched a lot of, European football documentaries of them doing sort of a Hard Knocks or sort of a in-season thing. And there's a lot of content that you would describe as questionable, in terms of how players are treated or whatever. Yeah. And I think that fans of, I feel the NFL just is maybe everyone's just a little too sensitive. And we've taken for granted that we have had this access. And I think people are scared because of cancel culture. And I feel that may be why it's different. And also football's like a different animal. Like imagine if there was like a fly on the wall in Nick Saban's locker room. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
there were cameras.
It would.
Lord.
People like Kirby Smart's speech, his locker room speech, which was not actually the championship speech.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. And actually people like rallied around that. They're like, yes, this is great. But he's just expletive heavy, beat the living fuck out of them, all that stuff.
It would be different.
And I think you get some of that on Hard Knocks, but the NFL also really doesn't want. There has to be a ceiling
American
on what
football
they show.
American football, people are very sensitive to how they do things.
The sport as a whole is like considered dangerous and has been under fire. Like the whole existence of it.
Yeah.
So, but bring me the Jets, bring me Aaron Rodgers. I haven't watched much Hard Knocks in the last couple of years.
I watched the Detroit one.
That was last year, I think, because they asked them to do it again, which I would take, and they said no. Like everybody's just like, no, thanks. So but I'm it. So bring me the Jets, bring me Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
All right.
Random shit.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Oh, yes. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought a portion of a Formula One team. So they're coming to Formula One.
They're on a roll, right? Like,
yes. I also think Michael B. Jordan is part of this group that purchased this percentage of Alpine, which this is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see. I know the Drive to Survive stuff, like in Netflix, probably have some sort of deal set up where they can't have exclusive content, but there's no reason that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney couldn't film stuff on their own. I'm fascinated by this. I know a lot of people were like, ugh, Hollywood. A lot of foreign fans were like, Hollywood coming into it. I think this is great. I think Drive to Survive is already Hollywood coming into it. I honestly cannot wait. And I think also I love the fact that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney and I all have very similar interests. If I had that kind of money, this is what I would be investing in. And basically they went from a soccer team, to now an F1 team. And I've just gotten into both of these things in the last 3 or 4 years. So we're basically the same person.
You're basically the same. I agree.
Yes.
That's where I was going to start. Their soccer investment, I don't know what they paid for Wrexham. Has that been disclosed? I don't know. Probably not.
Yes, but I forget what the amount is.
So I'm assuming that investment has like ballooned in the last, because of the TV show, because of, you all right?
Yes, I'm good. Hold on. I have
your eyes there, your facial expression was great.
I have the worst facial expressions ever. Like if people freeze frame some of the facial expressions from the YouTube,
really pushing YouTube hard this episode.
We really are. Hold on. I'm trying to find there was a Front Office Sports tweet about his Ryan Reynolds investments. And it was saying how much everything has increased. They tweet a lot. But I mean,
it's gotta be, but it's a brilliant investment. Like you buy this thing and you put a show around it, and naturally, even if you suck, it's going to go up in price because many people didn't know they existed. Do you like how I tried to kill the air there?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Pro move
right there.
No big deal.
Since 2018, Ryan Reynolds' investments include a gin brand, a Welsh soccer club, and a phone service provider. He sold the gin brand for $600 million, which I was talking about earlier, Aviation Gin. They've been promoted. The Welsh football club or soccer club has been promoted, and then he sold the phone service for $1.3 billion. So now he's investing in Formula One. Like this, anything he touches sort of turns to gold at this point.
Ian Wilder.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Fucking Wilder.
I love it.
That is, yes.
Yes.
That is cool. No, and it's neat. It is odd that they seem to be going down your alignment of
fandom,
which is
maybe
great.
They should bring me in to help consult on things. I'd be willing to take a significant amount of cash to
feel like that's the part of it that you're pushing pretty hard.
Yeah. I want to be sponsored. I brought Blake Lively into the fold, Betty Buzz. Now I know what it's called.
Betty Buzz. It's a good name. It's like
their daughter's name is Betty.
Betty Buzz?
Who not Betty Buzz, but her name is Betty.
And then the Buzz, but it's non-alcoholic, correct?
It's non-alcoholic, but they're mixers, so you can drink it by itself or as a mixer.
Oh.
And it's made with clean ingredients. But also, did you know that you made this is what, 2 Taylor Swift references on this podcast earlier? You said folklore, and that was a Taylor Swift album. And then Betty is also a song that she wrote. I can promise includes.
I'm doing this 100% intention.
And you're not like on Taylor Swift reels yet? Eras Tour reels?
No, I've gotten a few, but I don't. Clearly, the formula is not working for me for Taylor Swift.
Formula.
But no, I'm not a hater. Like it's amazing to see an artist kind of capture the entirety of the world the way she has on this tour. Also, doing a tour sounds fucking exhausting.
Exhausting, yeah. She does I think it's 44 songs or something like that. Like, that's a lot.
And she's doing this
I can't even sing just standing still, let alone moving around and although I would be really into the costume changes. That would be my thing.
No, that's yes. And then no singing. Just change
just me coming out in my outfits and people applauding. That could make me so much money. Why wouldn't people do that?
No, I like that. I like that. I'm trying to think. Yes, go ahead. Random shit.
One of the things that I did give you for homework was when we were on the phone the other day was to watch the Smartless on Tour documentary. Have you started it at all?
No. Like we literally talked like 12 hours
yesterday. I know probably less than that because it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm on it.
Okay, you promise?
I do.
You have to watch it. It's so good.
Yes, but I do love. I mean, Arrested Development is one of my favorite shows ever. So you give me Arnett, you give me Bateman.
I've not seen it.
Oh, you would love it. I think you would love it. Yeah.
Is it along the lines of The Office? Because I don't like The Office.
Yeah, that's not a great start. I wouldn't compare it directly to The Office. It's very clever. It very, very clever, and the acting is just superb all around. But I love that show. It is phenomenal. And it's funny to see just the star power that show really kind of helped construct. But I like those too, and they're great together. They were doing like U.S. Open commercials and shit, right? Like,
were they?
Yeah, I think they were. Or maybe this was the podcast. I have no idea.
Will Arnett is doing an F1 simulcast with Daniel Ricciardo. I think I told you that.
Also, BoJack Horseman. You ever watch BoJack Horseman on Netflix?
No.
Do you know what that is? Cartoon horse. Will Arnett's the voice of BoJack Horseman. It's actually, I don't even know how to describe this show. BoJack was a horse that was a famous actor and then became like addicted to drugs and kind of burned out.
Okay.
And
funny.
It's a funny show, but also deeply serious and kind of like, I can't recommend it to you because I don't think you'd like it, but I feel like you just have to watch one and be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
BoJack yes.
Yeah. Sometimes my like taste in shows is like very random. Like for the most part, I stick to the script of like feel good, happy, which by the way, I watched the second part of Breakpoint, which is the documentary on Netflix with the tennis, and I cried twice, which I don't know what that was about because it really wasn't that. I don't know why, but people realizing their dreams just really makes me happy. So,
that's nice.
See, I like feel good things like that, or like documentaries where you like get to know people. But occasionally I am like, oh, I like that show. When it's not something that someone would naturally recommend to me because they know I'm not into like scary things and stuff like that.
Sure. I don't know. BoJack Horseman do that.
Okay. Try it out.
Try.
Watch Smartless on Tour.
I will. No, that's way more up my alley than BoJack is at yours, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not even going to get started about you watching Drive to Survive, so.
I don't even have random shit. Like week 0 is like 2 months away. I'm ready.
Wow.
I'm ready.
I don't know how I feel about that. Week 0.
media days are like 3 weeks away, or like 3.5 weeks.
Talking season.
That'll be good for content, right?
Yeah.
You have to actually start like previewing stuff and like talking about Texas a little bit more.
We're gonna start being serious, which we will, guys.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
No, the conversation we did have was like, we got some great ideas. You have to do them.
We've got some new stuff coming.
We do. And it's fun to talk about that shit. Be like, all right, like, let's roll. Like, it is fun. I don't know. I like, the juices are flowing. This is like the time of year where 4th of July is that time. We're also one year away from a video game, I believe.
Yeah. Ooh. Hopefully. Hashtag rebrand. But I very much enjoy the 4th of July. It's like one of my top favorite holidays. Yes. Do you have any wonderful plans for the 4th of July?
I am going up to my dad's. It's Wisconsin, so we usually light off our own fireworks. There's like no rules in Wisconsin. Awesome. And play a little golf, a little pool, eat some good food. I do love the 4th. It's weird though, because like symbolically it's like summer. I don't want to say summer is definitely emphatically not over. But you're like reaching this tipping point of like
for people who cover football, it's over.
No, but that's exactly it, right? Like, you're like, oh my God, season coming, which is also great and a little terrifying. So, no, I am like Mr. Patriot. Like, when it comes to the 4th, like, hell yeah, fucking America, let's go. Like, let's do this up right. It's sort of my kid. Like, it'll be a good time. What about you?
Well, it's the one of 2 times that I drink beer. Is 4th of July. So I will have a Budweiser in the like American can. That's my one thing that I do. And I will do that on the 4th of July because that's that and when I go to a ballpark, which I am going to Yankees and Mets. I've been to both ballparks, but I'm going on a work trip in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. So I will be going to Yankee game and Mets game.
You're going to both games or just Yankees Mets?
Both games, both stadiums.
Oh my God.
Talk about summer vibes.
Deeply jealous.
And also New York's just one of my favorite places in the world, so.
A lot of jealousy there.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, with that, we will wrap. Paige, I am Adam. We will talk to you guys next week.